now rocking with TDF everything. Spoiled rotten.
Spoiler alert.
Welcome and welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
It's me, Daniel,
And this is Ben.
on Spoiled Rotten. And we are back in the Fallout universe. We are doing Season 2, Episode 5 of Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's ready?
I think I am.
There
Are
we
you
go.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, sweet. Well, to be clear, we were ready last time. But
I don't know if I was.
It's just playful banter. Yeah.
Yeah. We will, we'll do more of going through the actual story beats and then have our overall thoughts while we're doing it and after we're doing it. So,
Yeah. I do have a little bit of a prediction that you're going to be a little bit more favorable on this episode because there's like no Brotherhood of Steel stuff to talk about.
You should keep betting for something else.
This is why I don't actually gamble.
Yeah. No, I think the show still has the same issues.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I mean, they made it to Vegas.
Yes.
It feels like
So
they did
I'm
at the
very
end of
happy about
episode
that.
4.
Yeah, that might have been. I was distracted by my phone situation.
I mean, it's not like I was like, no, they're there. I'm just saying, yeah. I'm sure people have had a week to be frustrated with us being like, when are they getting to Vegas? I'm just
When are you get to
pointing it
get
out. Yeah,
fireworks factory?
exactly. No, I'm just pointing it out. Yeah, now I know they were already at Vegas by episode 4.
Yep.
What about you? Are you feeling better about the season?
I'm feeling like it's picking up in terms of where they're going.
I
Like
can
I'm
agree with
seeing something more clear on the horizon as opposed to being like, oh, cool, they're just gonna walk throughout the wasteland and this is the road trip without a car. So that's swell. So I have more hopes that they're actually picking up steam, and I'm glad that they didn't do the whole like, oh, Justin Theroux is the whole actual Mr. House thing until the end of the season, because I'm like, that would have been dumb. But
I truly didn't realize that was supposed to be a secret.
yeah,
That whole time we were talking last episode was me being like, he's Mr. House, but I don't remember them saying it. Not me thinking they were keeping that as a secret.
Yeah. I mean, because Mr. House is supposed to be like their in-universe like version of Howard Hughes
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess for people that know the character of Mr. House, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you spending so much time with this fake Mr. House and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah,
But
I guess it's like if you ever see them do Ra's al Ghul and then he has a decoy.
that's true.
Although I don't know if that really matters to people who watch Batman that aren't already aware of the character. But
Yeah.
like you said, it might just work for people who care about the character.
Yeah. I think what that does work for, and I like the whole like fake out thing. It's like I imagine that there's a Fallout nerd out there like me that has a partner, a significant other, that have roped them into watching this series together,
Mm-hmm.
and that significant other that doesn't care about Fallout at all went like shocked expression, and I'm like, it must be for that person.
I mean, I hope so, but as someone who was barely paying attention, I was already like, isn't that Mr. House? Like, what are we doing? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I actually do just hope people are enjoying this. I don't want people to be as
Mhm.
lukewarm on it as I am.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to tell because I try to avoid online discussion of these things as much as humanly possible, because that's, just road rage.
Well, one thing I noticed was Heroes Reforged just stopped covering it after episode
Right.
2. So
Okay.
I feel like their metrics must have been like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
I
Fair.
don't. People aren't tuning in for this.
I think it would have been different if the conclusion that you and I had arrived at was this is a full season drop as opposed to week to week.
Yeah.
The metrics would be a lot better, but then it would be like one episode and then maybe another one, and then that would be it.
Well, we can start going through the episode now. I just wanted to clear the air. They were already in Vegas in episode 4 and we just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
We already said we weren't that into the season. And I was wrong to think that they had already explained that Justin Theroux was playing Mr. House. That was a episode 5 reveal. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, one thing, this episode does start off with something I like, which is you see that the ghoul is softening to Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
There's the whole thing where they're fighting the death claws. They're not fighting. They're just facing off against them and then make a distraction so they can run away. Mm-hmm. And Lucy is kind of just like, so why did my dad run into this? She basically says, I want to ask that, but I know you'll tell me to shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. She says fudge, but I like that even before he just tells her, you can see that he's kind of like, nah, I don't want her to think of me like that. I don't want to. I'll just. And we learn that Coop. I'm just gonna call him the ghoul when we're in present day.
Yes,
the ghoul is just like, yeah. The plan was always to have a special vault from management, and he knows. Well, this episode proves him right, but he's like, I believe it's in Vegas because I've been basically to every other special vault. I've been to all the other cities. They haven't had it, so it has to be Vegas. Mm-hmm. So I like that it seems she's rubbing off on him in that he's like, I don't want to make it unpleasant for her. But I also feel like I already knew that's what he thought. Mm-hmm. Again, I might just not be paying attention, but I just feel like that was the season 1 thing where he was like, yeah, I'm going to let your dad run away so I can find the vault that he's going to and find my family. I didn't know that was information she didn't already have. Mm-hmm. I thought that was like, yeah, like this was the whole plan. Like, your dad's going to lead me to my family in the secret vault.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever communicates that, but that's
he does have plan. The whole, it's better to chase the prey back to where you want to go than to force it out of, like, so he did share that with her. So to me, I'm just like, is she really not picking up on what's going on here? She already knows he's looking for his family and that he let her dad go so he could find where her dad was going. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's this episode or the 4th episode where he actually reveals the management thing. It's this one, right?
It's this one. Yeah.
It's this. Okay, so yeah, then he is warming up to her from an action standpoint because, like, you know, normally I wouldn't expect the ghoul to actually reveal that information because then she can start to piece together what's going on.
Even in the way he does, it feels like he's like, oh, yeah, this is... He doesn't say it in a snide way or an angry. He's actually just trying to be like, this is the information.
Yep.
I appreciated that, but also was kind of like, I don't know, I just feel like I certainly already knew this. I don't really want to watch a show so that I can find the other characters learn what I already know. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's good, though. And
sometimes it's
good for people watching this that are enjoying it.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's nice that he's not just being mean to her. Mm-hmm. He also gives her money to get out of her drug addiction, to get Adderall.
Yeah.
Adderall, sorry, I should say.
Adderall, yeah.
And I don't know if he's rubbing off on her so much as she's just realizing she's not better than him, because basically she goes to the store, sees she goes to Sunny's and realizes Sunny is chopped up and in a bin. Mm-hmm. And before she sees that, though, she does steal a weapon. Like, she was not going to pay for that thing. She steals something, and
the power fist.
Yes, I'm assuming it's from the game. Like, it looks like yes. But I like that it was kind of like, I'm just going to steal this. Like, no one's here to stop me. Then she sees the body. Then she sees the person who almost definitely did kill him. Like
Mhm.
just he's like, why? It's normal to rob a place when you're naked. um, and she shoots him, and I have to just take it at face value that she didn't realize she killed him because of the way she acts afterwards, where she's like trying to continue to do her speech, and it's like, oh shit, you're dead. But I'm like, that just looks like a kill shot. I don't really.
It is a kill shot. Like that to me.
Maybe I shouldn't say a sudden death one, but like you shot in a place where he's just gonna die. Like that wasn't maiming, like shooting in the leg or the ass. Like you shot him in the chest. So
that's my point. Is just like it feels like there's an argument to be made about whether or not she's still on or experiencing the effects of the drugs and all that kind of stuff.
At that point. Okay, there's no argument. She's still, because we see when she takes it later and throws up.
Yeah.
She's still on it, but it is just like, I guess that's my issue, is I don't know that she's playing it drastically different now that she's on drugs. So to me, I'm just like, I don't know, it just looks like he killed him. Which, to be fair to the show, she was kind of saying like, "Hey, like I'm down to kill, so like let's keep going, so I can get that out of my system." But I just didn't know she meant for humans, because she was very clearly talking about death claws before.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, then someone comes in and basically is like, "Who are you?" And some might call it corny, but I do like that she's like, obviously not actually answering that question, but she is kind of like, wait, who the fuck am I that I could do something like this now? I appreciated that element of her like existential crisis.
Yeah, because I do like that response of like, I don't know, and then just cuts away, and I'm like, yeah, good. You're reflecting on your behaviors now, whether or not how, depending on how much the drugs are influencing you, you're actually looking at what you're doing.
The next scene, I'm only calling out because it's the guy from The Bear, and I didn't know that was his actual accent. Or obviously, his accent from The Bear can switch to whatever accent he's doing here, believably. Yes. So I don't know which one is real, but I'm kind of hoping both of them are fake. It's just, I'm like, wow, like that guy has got range in terms of accents.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's from the UK or something like that. But
exactly.
When he showed up, I was like, I was so excited for it. It was great.
But then I was mad when the ghoul was like, leave me alone. I was like, no, more of this. Keep talking.
I want to hear more of his talking.
I want to hear him talk. But the reason I brought it up is because I wanted to, because it doesn't really matter, because this is just prompting a flashback. I'm going to put all the flashback stuff together. I'm not going to jump around like the show did.
Because it did too much.
So the flashback is basically he's on his journey, he's on his mission to, or we flash back to the airport where he's supposed to be like, okay, you're with your wife, who I now know is named Barbara, and you're going to go kill Mr. House. And he gets on the phone and is like, I'm not doing that. And she's like, like, you're saving millions for like one thing. And I do like his retort, even though I'm like, just, you should do it. Like, but I just like that he's like, you know how many people say that and use that to justify their actions? Like, nah, I'm not down. So he goes, I'm assuming, thinking he can talk these people out of whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's not going to work. But good for him for sticking to the not killing people, at least there. Then we get to see Vegas in its glory. Not all run down like Deadwood. And it looks like he's about to follow Hank, a.k.a. Lucy's dad. And then he just gets intercepted by Mr. Like classic Bond stuff of just like, oh no, just come to me. We don't need to do this. I know you're here to kill me. And that I do like when Cooper, who's the ghoul, is just kind of like, sorry, how long have you been playing this guy? And he's like, I don't know, like 10 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been pretending to be this guy? And then it kind of just gets into Mr. House boring me, but he's kind of just like, oh, I'm not gonna drop the bomb, neither are those idiots. So what I was going with this whole time was like, oh, it's just going to be his wife. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. House is convinced they're too dumb to do that. They're not thinking big enough, and he is thinking it's a third option. And it's frustrating to him because he doesn't know who the third option is, but it's a third option.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, at least. That part of it. I just was like, I don't really care to be spending time with him. It's not interesting to me. But that element is, I have to say, very clearly this show just isn't for me this season, but I can acknowledge that is an interesting, intriguing thing to be like, it's not the two options you thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
that is a really, really cool thing for sure. Yeah. Because at this point, I certainly felt like I had the show figured out for this entire season. The fact that they went there, I'm like, okay, that is interesting. It's good.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, before he meets up with Mr. House, he sees that congresswoman basically being thrown on the ground. A good concept in theory, but I just felt like
poor execution.
I don't know if it's poor execution. I still just keep getting caught up on the way they cast it in terms of like this world where there are black people around, but they're not the ones being treated like second class citizens, and they aren't the fit. There's a South Asian woman who's trying to help do this thing, but I just feel like in general it doesn't feel like the face of the resistance are the people who you usually would assume are the other. It's just the commies are bad, and I'm like, just feel like it can't just be white people, because obviously this is a white congresswoman, which you could argue, well, it's supposed to be a 60s aesthetic, but there's also like a black CEO woman who's in charge of like a cabal of corporations. So like, I just feel like we could figure that out as well.
They're doing some hard and fast, very loose play with racial dynamics, especially considering the fact that they're like, oh, there's a Chinese war, which is why I'm like, okay, that's why there's no Asian like background actors or whatever, or Asian characters. I get that fully makes sense, and that is canon with the game. But at the same time, with the black and the white dynamics and Latino dynamics within America, I'm like, you cannot convince me that that's not something that exists within this.
Yeah, I think what we're both struggling with is the idea of knowing that, sure, racism is a problem, but only in as far as it's an easy thing to point out to be like, that's the other, so that the people who want to be billionaires can continue to do what they're doing.
Yep.
Meaning, like, there's always going to have to be another. So if you were successful in getting rid of all the Chinese people, you would still need another group of people to be the other visibly.
Yes, you need to find a new scapegoat.
Yeah, and I just feel like this show is not acknowledging that, and it's hard for me to fully invest, especially in scenes like that, which I feel like is them doing the stuff I would want to do, which is like, oh, like, look at how the people who actually try to do the right thing get treated. But I'm like, but it's like, one, I didn't spend much time with her outside of the scene she had in the first 4 episodes. So I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, I guess she's back. Oh, they don't like her because she's more left-wing than them.
Right.
Okay, then she got thrown on the ground, and that was pretty much it. Like, at the end of the episode, yeah, people are getting carted around by the same, like, what look like stormtroopers, and I mean that, like, Nazi style, not Star Wars style. But it still feels like we need to properly engage with that before I can fully invest in that kind of imagery.
I completely understand and I agree, and I think this is where I'm more disappointed in the show than I am with the source material, because the show is being very faithful to the source material in many, many ways. Like, I'm not talking about any of the Easter eggs and all that, there's a ton of them, but I feel like from the perspective of Todd Howard, who is really the guy at Bethesda that does a lot of this kind of stuff, it's always been my impression that Todd Howard's view on the world is ultra naive and very colorblind from a racist standpoint and all that kind of stuff, but still wanting to engage in some of those discussions. It's very evident throughout the games. It's very evident whenever I see him talk publicly and talk, even like his game Starfield, where you're going across different universes and all that kind of stuff. He's got all these races in places where it's just like, oh, okay, this is just the result of, human colonization across the universe. But at the same time, it doesn't go much further than skin level of like, oh yeah, there should be an Asian CEO, or there should be like this person. But I'm like, but if you're going to make those choices, you really have to understand how that's going to impact the character and the story you're telling. And he really doesn't. So it to me, like, I think this is more of a critique of Todd Howard and the source material, and the show not having the guts to deviate or actually think through what Todd Howard has done. And that's where I'm like, oh, this show is really, really good, but this is where it really does fall apart in the world that they've created, where they clearly do have elements of race in there. And then they choose to ignore for convenience for certain scenes or certain characters in general.
It's what I always go back to, right? Like,
yeah.
It's not just that they don't like communists, which would historically mean more than just white people.
Yes, absolutely.
It's that they actively are like, and we also made cowboy and Indian movies because everyone knows you gotta hate native people as well. So it can't just be like, they're like, no, we just really hate Chinese people and native people. You still have it at the top of your head of like, so they do know like how to play that game of like, well, that's the other, look at their skin, like you should be scared of them.
Yeah,
they're different.
Yeah, it's weird because it screams of someone that really wants to talk about political things without getting into the racial element of it. And I'm like, you can't really avoid those things. Those things go hand in hand, realistically, especially when we're talking about America.
I hope you're right. To me, it just feels like, just put multicolored people in it and then you make money.
That's
I hope I'm wrong in that you're right, that the person actually is trying to be like, no, don't you see left versus right, without understanding how that affects race.
Yes, I do think that, because especially in a season that really, really is bubbling on the concept of civil wars and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, this is, and throughout the games as well, it's like, okay, this is what they want to engage in, is politics post in an apocalyptic kind of thing for a lot of these characters' behaviors and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it's really weird, because when you're in a post-apocalyptic place, then realistically survival is, the most realistic thing. And they're talking about, I guess, capitalism versus collective interest or whatever. But I very much agree with you. It's just this weird puppeteering of, let's not engage in the racial stuff that clearly we are picking. We're really grazing the surface on.
I forgot something else because I read in my notes. Mr. House does say that he did the calculation and the world is supposed to end on Janie's birthday, the Ghoul's daughter.
Which is weird.
To the show's credit, he does say, isn't that like frustratingly curious? Like he doesn't have an answer really. I thought it was like, oh, okay, they were going somewhere with this, but he's like, no, I just know that that's your daughter's birthday and that I'm not planning to do it, and I know your wife and the people she works with aren't smart enough to do it.
It's a weird concept for me, for him to say that, because I'm just like, oh, you gave a time, 6 a.m. And we see in the first season, why the hell are we having birthday parties at 6 a.m. in the morning?
Well, it's like 5 something.
Something like that. But it's just
like...
also,
he said 2065. Was that 2065?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
That's the weird thing about it. It's just like, okay, well, you got trapped in the 1960s aesthetic for 100 years? How does that make sense? And that's more on Todd Howard than anything else. I'm just like,
I'm
oh
not too
man.
concerned about that. If it's an alternate universe, then it can look however it needs to look at whatever time.
Sure.
I'm more concerned in that you did that part, but then forgot that you still wanted to engage, or you still wanted to pay lip service to racial inequality.
Yeah.
And then just not really handle it well. Basically, this part of the story ends with I don't even know what Mr. House did. He puts on the helmet and he's like, I like that he's kind of like insulted that Cooper's not really on board with it. He's like, so you just used the calculator to figure. He's like, yeah, I did. He's like, well, maybe you're just a fucking weirdo. And he's like, no, I figured it out. Like, this is when the world's gonna end. But I think that just leads. I could be wrong, but I think that leads him to just be like, this is all hopeless, and he just gets drunk. You see a montage of him taking a bunch of drinks. He goes on a mechanical bull
in the shape of a rocket ship and a missile. Yeah,
that's right. Yes, falls off of that. Barbara comes to get him, and when he comes to, I'm assuming the morning after, he's just like, we have to talk. And that is all of the flashback stuff.
Yep.
This was interspersed throughout this episode, but I figured we might as well just talk about it all at once.
Yeah, because it's cleaner that way, for sure. For once, though, I will say that I really wish one of these evil villains would actually go into how the math worked for their calculations. Not like super in depth, but I do want an explanation, because it's just like every single time they're like, I use math to do it. I'm like, math can't predict the future, can it? Like, I'm not good enough with math, but
I think it can. Not sorry, I don't think it can predict the future. I understand how in movies and TV they're like, this is how they used math to make this prediction on what would happen, or like, curves and stuff like that, and be like, okay, so at this point that must mean this is where this event will happen. Right. I understand enough to know that it is possible. I also understand enough to know I would never try.
Fair enough. I just want to understand it, because to me it sounds like fantasy football talk, where it's like when you have a fantasy football guy going like, whenever they do this, they're 85% of the time they go for this on third down, and I'm like, but that doesn't predict the future. That just gives you a strong indication of what may happen. That doesn't actually predict the future. So
yeah, well, that's what I mean for movie and TV. But I also think there's a lot more math going into it than just anecdotally, this is what happened when he did this.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say that if I understand the math calculations, it's probably not that complicated, because I'm not good at math. But I just
that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand enough to know, like, they could come to. I mean, there's also an element of the science of, you test your theory and you keep testing it and recreating situations to see if you come up with the same thing using the math. But I'm sure that part is already taken care of when he says with certainty it's going to be this date at this time.
Because I think with the closest that we've gotten is in the Fantastic Four movie, when Pedro is doing his calculations and kind of explaining. I'm like, okay, that's the closest any kind of thing has come to actually being able to predict, like, show some form of how the math builds into this. But that's just an aside for me to be like,
you want to see it more.
I feel it's unsatisfying when they're just like, I just did the math. I'm like, well, I don't know. Okay, sure, whatever. Great.
Fair enough.
That's just me being a dummy, not me critiquing this.
So, in the present,
to the future.
Yes. In the present, that snake oil salesman played by John Daly is wandering around,
trying to get to New Vegas,
trying to have sex with robots.
Yep.
And then gets knocked out by Hank. What I also like is this is where we get the confirmation that Barb and Janie are in the special vault. So because he gets dragged past there, and Hank puts the thing in the back of it, the transponder in the back of his neck, giving him a chance to forget everything and become an automaton type thing. And he's like, yeah, please, I would love to forget this last bit of time. That would be great. So yeah, that's set up, but it also is the confirmation that, like, okay, yes, his family is in New Vegas, or whatever they're calling it. Then there's the Norm stuff. I gotta say, I don't quite know where we're going, especially for how it ends for Norm in this episode. But yeah, he's with a bunch of people. What is it, Vault 31?
31 or 33 or something like that.
He's 33.
Remember. He's 33, they're 31 then, yeah.
So, yeah, he's with them, and I don't even know what lie he told them. I'm sure it happened in the first 4 episodes. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, the lie he told was, hey, management has elected me to give you a problem solve, like to basically turn the situation he was in into an escape room and get out of it. And he did. Figured it out. And then now he's like, basically, in my opinion, winging it to be like, oh, now management wants us to go here and all this kind of stuff.
That's why it doesn't matter to me, because I'm like,
yeah,
he just tricked them into helping him get out of there, which which worked.
And now he's over his head. That's what it feels
now he's
like.
Passed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. I didn't even really like. Was he in over his head, or because to me, what happened was he was just being a nice person to Claudia, and she was in a very... So Claudia's part of the people he unfroze. Yeah. And they're in an office building that they all are aware of. Do they work there or something? I don't know.
They all work there, yeah.
Yeah, so they all work there because they were making fun of the receptionist. Like, she's still here? Oh, what a kid. What a bootlicker.
That was so funny to me in the sense where I'm like... they called her by name, and then they were like... There was like an anecdotal thing. Like, hey, you remember her cookies at Christmas or something? I'm like, what the hell? This is ridiculous, but... To that point, Claudia is the only one that didn't join in the rigging of a dead colleague.
She didn't, and she's like, I'm now realizing, because to her it's been a week.
Yes.
And she's just like, I'm just realizing everybody and everything I like, her pets and family members are all dead. Because Norm's kind of like, hey, you doing all right? And she's like, no. I don't know if that's a safe thing to say, but no. Yeah. I appreciated that, and I wasn't like, oh yeah, now they're going to have sex. I just liked that he was like, that she was also acknowledging, like, I know you're not who you say you are because you're actually nice. You're not an asshole. And the other guy, I don't remember his name. But the other guy, I wrote his name down. Hold on. Ronnie sees this and just, I feel like, just gets jealous that Claudia is talking to Norm. And then he does figure out that he was lying because he's, like, keeping an extra eye on him. It all happens quickly, but I'm just like, I don't know that he was in over his head so much as he just got on the wrong person's radar. Maybe. By talking to Claudia. Because then the guy's like, yeah, I know it. I knew it. You lied to us. You're not really who you say you are. Which I don't think would have been an issue for him if he didn't see Claudia getting close to Norm. Yeah. And I'm not saying that as in, like, they were going to be an item. It's just, obviously, for a jealous person, it wouldn't matter what's actually happening. He's seeing what he wants to see.
Yeah, it's just a threat on his ego. That's really what it is. There was no predetermined. It was just like one of those things where he was like, I got a crush on her. This is probably going to all work out when everyone else is dead, and I'm the only one around for her. Classic incel stuff.
Yeah, so he just well, I don't know. He makes Norm pass out. Yeah. I can't imagine they killed him.
No, they did not.
But I also don't think that's how strangulation works.
No, but there was a giant gasp that he had at the end. And then
I'm saying they obviously didn't kill him because of the gasp. But what I'm saying is, I don't think your body just can give up and then start back up again. Like, I feel like you would just keep fighting till death.
Yeah.
You're not consciously trying to fight. Your body literally just keeps fighting until you die.
Yeah, I at first thought, oh, Norm's going to pretend to die so that releases the grip and all that kind of stuff. But then I'm like, to what end? He could just resume again, so
Yeah.
that was weird to me. And then I'm like, okay, I'm glad they did the breath for us to know that he's not dead, and basically everyone else in the room. But like, what was the point of the attack? Because there was a legitimate concern on his end. It's like, hey, you're not who you say you are, we got to get rid of you, kind of thing.
Which, yeah, I was just like, I don't. Wait, so now what's your plan? Like, are you gonna go back to the vault, or I don't know what killing him does.
It wouldn't do anything.
'Cause
My
you could just
guess
keep
would
going
be,
and
yeah,
just be like, hey, don't talk to her anymore.
yeah. My guess would be that they plan to interrogate him in the next episode.
Yeah, I just feel like they went a bit far with the strangulation
Probably.
because it felt like it went on way too long for me to be like. And then I guess people pass out, but just the way it looked, I was like, I don't know that you would just pass out and then come to like that.
Yeah, no, I think once you pass out when you're being strangled, you die. That's usually what it is. Unless you're faking, in which case you wouldn't do the gasp like that.
And that's what I was saying. Like you could, after that amount of time, you couldn't fake it because your body would just be in like survival mode.
Yeah.
And still shaking and stuff. You wouldn't be able to be like, and now I go limp while he strangles me.
Yeah, it's some weird choice there for sure.
So yeah, I think you're right. They're going to interrogate him. I don't know if I guess I just don't care. I'm just like, I don't know.
Sure.
You guys are out of the vault. Do you want to go back? Because you probably could just go back. Do you not want to go back? Because you can just keep going.
Yeah, they're gonna
He's
probably
not.
want to go
He
back.
has no real control over what you do. Once
No.
you realize he's not who he says he is, you can just be all right, bye.
Yeah. That was the weird, perplexing part of like, okay, why didn't you get more people involved in that subduing him kind of thing? But it's just like, hey,
It didn't even feel like he was like, you ruined our mission, which is why I think it was just over the Claudia thing. But it just felt like, what? Why?
It there's a lot of weird choices being made there. I imagine that they might have some answers in the next episode. But I will say, while they got to the Vault Tech building, it was nice to see that those two people from season 1 there again.
Right, because they're like, oh no, we saw your sister, she's dead.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, more than you wanting to know the math behind him knowing that, I'm like, what would make you so certain of that? Like, I feel like you'd just be like, oh, she probably will die. She's like, no, she's dead already. I'm like,
so
based off of what?
I think that's more, and this is the weird thing, right? Because it gets back into like politics and all that kind of stuff. But of the wasteland that is the Fallout universe, there are a lot of stereotypes given to vault dwellers.
Yes.
So my gut instinct would be like, yeah, you're a vault dweller. You don't have any skills to actually survive out here in the wasteland. She
says all of that. But what I was saying is like, this is what I mean by like, we are already aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a mystery if she's dead or not, and I get that you're putting it in his head that maybe his sister's dead, but it's the same thing. I feel like once he gets out, he would feel that anyway.
Yeah.
This is his first time out of the vault and be like, wow, this is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of bumped on the whole, she's definitely dead. Don't think about it. I'm like, we already know she's not, one, but two, like, you're basing this off of just because of vault dwellers, but I feel like even when she saw those two, she showed that she was a bit different.
Yeah. I don't know, it's weird. It's some weird writing in this episode, in this season in general. So I'm just like, I guess I have to accept that they're not going to be as consistent as they were in season 1.
I think maybe I'm being unfair to the show because
I don't think you are.
I'm just not enjoying it, but I do feel a way about I guess because I'm left to sit with this for a week. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I don't know, they just strangled him. Like, he's got bigger problems now than worrying about if his... I don't even know... Like, for me, I could have seen them playing it like, he's just gonna let Ronnie kill him because his sister's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's not really how that played out either. Like, it just wasn't information that was pertinent to the end of the episode,
Right.
leading me to understand that obviously he's not dead. But it just was like, but we tried to play the whole fake out of his death, even if it was just for a few seconds.
It's a weird decision to make.
And yeah, I don't know. It's
what I wish happened in that scene is for Ronnie to punch him out, for him to black out, and then start tying him to a chair instead, and just like that would have been so much better than the whole choking thing. Like, what's the point?
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, once you're choking and he gasps again, wouldn't you just go back to choking?
Yes.
You wouldn't be like, oh, okay, I guess you learned your lesson.
Like literally no one would ever be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, like I'll back away now. They'll be like, hey, you just tried to choke me, I'm gonna try to get you now.
Yeah, you'd be like, well, I guess I'm pot committed now, I have to kill you.
Yeah.
I was already doing something that could only ever be associated with trying to kill someone.
Yeah, unless it's like, oh, okay, you're putting in one of those sleeper holds or whatever.
Yeah, but he didn't do a sleeper hold.
He didn't do a sleeper. It was like a cord, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it
was like Soprano style. I'm going to kill you with
yes.
fish wire or piano wire. Like, it was not. He was not like, I'm gonna knock him out so we can talk. Because yes, as you said, if it was just like a punch, because I don't believe that Norm would last in a fight.
I very much agree with that.
So you could just be like, yeah, he just punched him out, and now they're going to interrogate him, and now this is his problem. Regardless
of whether or not he would last in the fight, Ronnie is just so much physically bigger than Norm is.
And he could have sucker punched him if he wasn't smaller or whatever. I agree, yes. Because of Ronnie's stature, he could have knocked him out.
Yep.
Even if they were similar size and he just wasn't paying attention, he got him when he wasn't paying attention. I just don't know what to do with this.
Neither do
because I don't even. I'm really hoping something interesting comes out of this, but it's not. I'm not really grasping what interesting thing will come out of this interrogation that I've convinced myself will happen.
Yeah. To me, the only reason why it was like, oh, he stopped choking is like, oh wait, maybe we might need some answers from him, and he just gave up choking. But I'm just like,
yeah, I guess he's not on screen when the gasp happens, so we don't know what Ronnie's doing.
Correct. Yeah, we just see a close up of
maybe Claudia
Norm's face. Maybe, I don't know, but it's you're right. Maybe Claudia intervened and hit him over the head, Ronnie over the head with something. I don't know, but it's just the idea of like, it's weird that they went for a choke and not just a straight punch.
Mm-hmm.
It just, why? It's such a weird decision, but here it is. Maybe that is the thing. Maybe that Claudia does hit Ronnie, and now Norm and Claudia are going to run off together and do their own adventures, which, to be fair, I would kind of like.
Yeah,
because Claudia seems pretty cool.
All those people, I'm overwhelmed by the amount of people in that group.
Yeah.
All right.
Field trip.
Well, that's that. I'm sorry for people who are enjoying this. It's just not. It's not hitting for me. Next is another scene that I think is good in theory, which is I say in theory because in practice it just felt a bit too not complicated. I think they did too many steps.
Yes.
But Lucy comes back from killing that person. I don't know how she knew where to find the ghoul, because all he said when they got there was, I'm gonna go get fucked up.
Yep.
She very confidently walked into his room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have cell phones, but it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
So she found him, and he's acting weird like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
This is also where she is puking from taking the Addictol.
Mm-hmm.
And he recognizes that right away, and he goes, just go to the window. And he's like, you done yet? Because honestly, the character's name is Snake Oil Salesman. I can't imagine why they wouldn't give him another name, but here we are. The Snake Oil Salesman is there, and she's like, who's this guy? And that's where he's like, look, I work for your dad now. and he wants you to be safe. So you got to go back to the vault, and I'm gonna force the ghoul to do that to you so that he can save his family. Because your dad will agree to leave his family alone if he sends you back to the vault while he does his evil stuff. I wish it was more just like the ghoul took the deal before she got there.
Yeah.
But it just feels like he's hearing it for the first time too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, this is the deal?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm just like, it kind of ruins the weird way you were acting before.
Yeah, it does.
Because you were acting like you already knew what you were about to do.
Yep.
There's an argument to be made that he knew what the deal was going to be. But that's why I feel like they did too many steps. Because it should have just been that he already knew what the deal was and was like, it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Give him more active, like, because he basically was just like, hey man, just I'm gonna shoot you, take the nap, you'll wake up at home. But I feel that her betrayal, her feelings of being betrayed could have been a bit more fleshed out, considering she betrayed him like last episode of the episode before that, when she was just like, I'm just gonna let you die here, or I'm not gonna give you the life-saving thing. So it's just like, did you think you guys were friends? It seems like you were also keeping him at arm's distance.
That's what was weird to me, because I'm like, I remember in episode 1 where you did not do the thing, which is shoot him down like you agreed to and try to negotiate putting his life, whatever. But
just
like
making it hard for him, even if it wasn't gonna kill him.
True.
Making it more painful for him than it needs to be.
Right, exactly. So it's whether or not they're friends is a weird statement for her to go at the end. It's like, I was starting to like you or whatever. It's a weird kind of thing, because I'm like, now granted, friendship in a post-apocalyptic wasteland might be very, very different. You could make that argument for sure. But at the end of the day, I'm like, they didn't seem like they were friends at all. They just seemed like they were together out of necessity and figured out how to work together.
Yeah, felt like she was friends with Maximus, who not in this episode.
Yeah, exactly. That's a friendship.
But, because didn't she say like, I was just starting to like you or something?
Yeah,
or
after the punch. That? No, he says that. She says that after the punch. Okay. Or yeah, after the punch.
And then he falls on the pole.
Yeah, he gets vecned.
Like, I thought you were I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you though? I don't think you did. And if you did, maybe those first 4 episodes should have done a better job of making me feel like you guys were friends.
Yeah.
It just seemed like you were constantly undercutting his attempts to like play people and keep you guys safe.
And it's weird that because she's a vault dweller, she probably knows more about friendship than he does. So to me, I'm just
he still had a full life before he became
okay, fair, but like would act more friendly and more consistent in that friendship manner than
he was the consistent one.
Yeah, he's been consistent the whole time
up until this. Because I do think he was actively trying to keep her safe, even if he wasn't admitting it to her.
Yes.
This is one where he's like, I know this isn't going to actually keep you safe. I just want my family back.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I'm not saying he should have made a different choice. I'm just saying, like, he's been the consistent one. She's the one he couldn't trust. Like, of the two of them who couldn't be trusted, she couldn't be trusted out of the two of them.
Yes, I agree, because, I mean, like, to me, the ghoul's plan was always like, oh, I'm going to use her as a gambling chip when I do find the father and all that kind of stuff to get, we'll do a trade in that kind of situation, right?
And so it's okay, here's the gambling chip. Got it.
Exactly. This is the gambling chip. And she's the one that's been wildly inconsistent. And I don't know if that's her character or just the way they wrote her or whatever, but I'm like, yeah, she's been way more inconsistent than he has. He's been very consistent the entire time.
Yeah, I think we needed to see more.
Yeah.
For me to feel that she felt betrayed. I definitely buy that he feels terrible about his choice.
Yes.
And that's why he was, again, execution. I think he started the drinking a little too soon in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like he was always gonna. Maybe he just knew he was close by being in Vegas, and that he was ultimately going to have to screw her over.
Maybe
That's why the drinking started. But the way they just kept intercutting it with him when he's fully Cooper made it seem like he was just like, "Oh, I've done a bad thing," and I'm like, "Well, you haven't done it yet, but here we are."
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate. As I said, in theory, this is good stuff.
Yes.
I just feel like they made some choices that made it harder for me to be fully invested in the betrayal or even the hard choices people are making.
Yeah. It's weird for sure. Because I'm like, the whole downfall of this whole season, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that they chose to revert her back to her naive state. And every other character has been okay, boring, but okay. The fact that they reverted her back to that naive state is just like, this is stupid. You went through all of that in season 1 just to do this.
Yeah, I think
then to be like,
I think you said last episode, the issue is the only time she shows any difference is when she's under the influence.
Yes. And this time...
That shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't
be that she's making different choices when she's not on the drugs.
I agree. Like, if she had gotten the addict doll and then did what she did, and then also was like, oh, I'll take the power glove too. I'm like, yeah, now we're talking. But to me, like you said, it's just, yeah, she's under the influence the entire time. I'm like, okay, great. Then it could all be prescribed to drugs. Like, you know, the whole thing. So now is like, is that a morally questionable thing that, you know, he tried to trank her and take her, like, do the deal and all that kind of stuff, and she reacted the way she did? I don't think so. I'm just like, okay, well, here we are. It just feels weird, the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she wakes up to her dad calling her whatever he calls her, sugar bump.
I don't know, buttercup. Let's say. I don't know.
Well, he's bad. He makes himself known. I honestly, so what? He's gonna take her now?
I guess so.
Well, I thought the deal was that the ghoul had to take her.
Take her back, yeah. But now that the ghoul's impaled, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like, oh well, I'm just gonna, instead of sending you back to the vault, I'm just gonna keep you here, where you are, by definition, will be safe as I execute my plans and all that kind of stuff.
Look, sorry. So is your assumption that the ghoul's dead or incapacitated?
He's incapacitated. He's not dead. There's no way he's dead.
So he's just incapacitated. I don't know what. Because doesn't he have the spray that can just heal up the stomach?
Yep.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, he could still just keep going.
Yeah, he will. Absolutely. His story ain't
That's why
done.
I don't know why they ended with him just coming into the room.
Yeah.
On like a weekly drop thing where I'm like, but he's not, like, that wasn't his plan.
Mm-hmm.
His plan wasn't, and now I'm going to come say hi to you. The plan was like, now go off to Vault 33.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep doing my thing without you in my face.
It's some real weird choices, I will say that, because at the end of the day, I'm like, maybe he did just want to see her before she goes back and, you know, could be like, oh yeah, she's tranked or whatever. But that happened so fast, in the sense where I'm like, how would he possibly know that? So I do think that his plan is to take her and do the whole evil villain monologue thing that villains love to do in movies or TVs and all that kind of stuff.
He's going to monologue for sure. Yep. I guess I didn't consider that maybe this is the safest way to interact with her after she found out he was the bad guy, is when she's like not really with it and drugged up on tranks. Then he can do his monologue and not be as scared that she'll say something that hurts his feeling or his ego.
Mm-hmm. Because I do expect her to be tied up to a chair and for him to be monologuing next episode.
So the siblings will be interrogated, or will be tied up next episode.
Yeah, unless it is Claudia that did knock him out. Because it does not make sense that he was like, oh, let's stop choking before the job is done.
Mm-hmm.
It does not make sense.
Because they didn't fade to black and then have him be like, like that,
Yep.
and then cut to black again. It was just like all one thing.
All one
like,
shot, yeah. So
he's
I
down,
think
he gets back up, and no one's there to stop him. But it does cut before, I guess.
yeah.
You can see what happens next.
So I'm guessing Claudia intervened because that's the only thing that would make sense in that situation right now, as I'm saying it out loud. Because like, let's be perfectly honest, if he tricked them all, what's the point in interrogating him? Because it's just like, can you trust what he's gonna say in the interrogation
Maybe
at
they're
that
just
point?
dumb vault dwellers. No, they're not. No, they're
Maybe.
not. Because they've only been there for. I guess they were in the vault for a week before they were frozen. Is that what it, or is it,
No, no, Claudia was a Vault Tech employee for a week before she was frozen.
got it?
Yeah, and then everyone else had been there for significantly longer to make fun
So
of.
they're not vault dwellers.
They're not.
They
They're
should be smart enough to know that.
They are the
Interrogating the
corporate
person
shills.
Yeah, but they should be smart enough to know that the person that successfully lied to them the first time probably could do it again.
I'm not entirely sure about that, because it's just like if the management, so we know that there's a management vault, which is not canon to the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is kind of cool. If there's a management vault, would you want your employees to be smart or just competent and stupid enough to be competent? It seems like they're stupid enough and competent at the same time to do whatever they need to do. But
What I mean is there's a bunch of people who were like born into vault life, which I have to imagine is the like vault dweller aspect of it.
yes.
The people that are there and just know vault life and don't really know any other kind of life.
Mhm.
But they aren't those people, so I don't think that it's the same kind of level of, well, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're just the corporate shills that do the monkey work for even the management vault people that have not been unfrozen apparently.
No, not yet.
So that's fun.
It's probably a season 3 thing.
Oh god. I don't know if I want a season 3. I genuinely think at this point, I'm like, if they just had left it at season 1, because
Like
season 2
Watchmen
right now
style?
is, yeah, because like right now, this is ruining it for me. This is absolutely ruining my statement that this is the best adaptation.
I don't know why it just never fully got there for me. This is, I would say, actively less enjoyable for me this season. So I'm not trying to say it's similar levels of enjoyment for me.
Mhm.
I do think, for my own purposes, the first season is way better made.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't care. Make your third or fourth season. I don't care. It's just I'm not really vibing with this season, and hopefully the third season is where they were like, now we can do what we really want.
I hope so, because and this is my big thing too, is just like, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, okay, well, if they do New Vegas as the premise of this season, when are they going to do the Fallout 4 thing where there's this like huge, like the story is like, okay, the father got frozen, the son was unfrozen a lot longer, and like the son is like super super old and the father is like super super young, and like when are they going to do that trope? Is it going to be season 3? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's I feel like they're going to have to do that, because that was a good reveal in Fallout 4, and I think that would translate well to this TV show. But
Would
at
it?
the same
Like,
time,
what? I feel like it would have to be a character that we already know.
maybe
I don't
not.
know that lands
Not too sure.
for people who are just watching. If you're just like,
Mhm.
here are these 2 new characters. This guy's the dad, but he looks so much younger because he was frozen longer, and you're like, okay.
Maybe.
Like, it just feels like it would be like all the other side characters we've seen. If it were something like, obviously they can't do this, but like, let's say Leslie Uggams was playing Janie,
Mhm.
I know I'm not saying she is secretly Janie. I'm saying
Right.
let's say we hadn't seen Leslie Uggams up until she shows up and goes, "Dad," when she sees the ghoul.
Mhm.
That would be something because you're like, "Oh shit!" Like it's
They're
not gonna
doing
be
it
the
with
same
him.
it won't
Yeah.
be the same dynamic that he was hoping for when he finally gets to see his family again.
Right.
She's already been out and lived her life. He's missed his opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just feel like it has to be a character we already know for that to be interesting for TV and not just, hey, they did that in the game too.
I mean, in all fairness, that was probably one of the best writing arcs in Fallout 4 and all that kind of stuff. But either way, it's just that's just what I was thinking of. Like, when will they do this? If they're adapting the New Vegas storyline for season 2, hopefully there's a conclusion to it, not a cliffhanger. But I don't know. It's weird. It's real weird.
Well, I mean, we know there's a season 3, so even if they
Yes.
don't conclude this season, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just probably what I said, which is you don't actually have enough story for the time you have.
Yeah.
And you were trying to punt stuff to this third season that you knew was guaranteed.
Yeah. I genuinely am perplexed by some of these choices in the sense where I'm like, okay, yeah, do the New Vegas thing. That's one of the more popular entries in the Fallout universe. But like the idea that this is an RPG game where it's not tied to direct lore for the character and all that kind of stuff, it was like they could do so much with the setting, the characters that they have established, and keep building this world and all that kind of stuff. But they're so tied down to what the games have done and not successfully adapting it well enough. Like, you know what I mean? It's now I'm looking at this whole season and being like, hey, are we gonna get Macaulay Culkin back this season, or is he a season 3 thing?
I'll be honest, when I was listening back to our episode, I was like, I obviously had no idea what was going on and I don't feel bad about it.
That's fine.
I was just like, I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah, I mean it's the video game bullshit of like, oh yeah, there's a new NCR, there's the Brotherhood, there's this, and there's all these like factions and all that kind of stuff, which works for a video game, but for this, it's just like I don't know if it makes it any better.
So this is what I was trying to get at with the whole Fallout 4 storyline thing is you can't just do it because it happened in the games. You already you made us invest time in these 3 main characters.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to stick with that then. And breaking one of them off of the 3 and making him just do his own thing somewhere else, not even present in this episode, is not great. And then you'd be asking us to just, because that's already like a 2-person thing, like you're going to be taking away from that core 3 if you introduce this father who needs a son, and like unless that's like someone they meet. But I don't know if you have the runway to feel as emotionally invested in something like that if it's just the 2 characters you're meeting for the first time that season, and these are short seasons.
No, you're right about the fact that would not adapt well to the TV that they're telling right now.
Yeah, the show they're doing right now, I don't know how that's more than just like 1 episode, and maybe people are like, oh well, yeah, that was cool, or whatever. But it's not rooted in the investment we are supposed to have for these 3 main characters.
You're right about that.
Unless it happens to one of them, which obviously it won't.
It's real hard to see that happening at this point. I don't think it's possible at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think that's also why the other stuff isn't quite landing, because it's not actually rooted in anything that gives us more information about our characters. They're just running into things that people know from the games. And then you're like, okay. For me, anyway, I'm just like, oh, okay.
No, that's how I feel when I played the games. I'm just like, it's weird because I guess it is nostalgia because the games are old. Where it's just like, it feels like a vehicle for nostalgia for Fallout fans. In which case, I'm just like, that's such a limited market for what you would be trying to aim for, I imagine, with a show like this. You know?
I mean, they have a lot of good will coming out of season 1.
Yes, they do.
But as I said, Heroes Reforged, they don't just do this, but their big thing I would say is their reaction videos, and they haven't done one for Fallout past episode 2.
Right.
And I remember them saying when they started their episode 2 and be like, hey, like not a lot of people really watched our episode 1. And I did, and I still didn't know what was going on, even though I watched their rewatch thing. Like I don't know what's going on with this season, but I'm using that as an anecdotal thing of like people with an actual big audience were able to notice the difference in eyes on their content about Fallout Season 2.
Right. And yeah, I haven't seen as much chatter on it or whatever, but I don't know. But like I said, I avoid those kind of things, but it just seems like it's one of those things right now where I feel like there is a sharp drop-off, probably in viewership, and they haven't retained that audience that is very much like the situation I described, where there's a significant other that's along for the ride. It feels like now it's just like, oh, people that played the game, it's good for them, but like when they're really looking at the storytelling aspect of it, like, is it good, or are you just happy that you remember things that were from that meant a lot for you when you were gaming? You know what I mean? It's not telling good story at this point. You're losing character development. You're doing all this kind of stuff that is just like,
it just feels like they're still getting to the good part.
Exactly.
On episode 5 of 8.
And that feels so bad. Like, I would have expected episode 2 to be here already, in the sense where it's like, oh, we see the clear direction that this is going to go. Because all we were able to deduce from episodes 1 to 4 is like, oh, this season's about Civil War. And then you get to this episode, it's like, is it? Is it about Civil War?
You deduced that. That was not what I was thinking.
Fair. That's what. Yeah, you're right. That's what I thought. And then now I'm like, is it about Civil War? What is this about? It's weird.
I've always thought it was about who's gonna push the button.
That's what it seems to be at this point
now. Well, is there anything else you want to say?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know who pushes the button, but
I mean, is it just Hank?
I don't know if it matters that much, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, like, I hope it does. They're really banking on us caring who pushes the button.
Yes, they really are banking on it. But like, I'm just saying, like, between you and me, once we get that reveal, it's just like, will we actually care that much?
No.
It's not going to be anything that's surprising. It's not. If it was the dad, it's just like, yeah, we knew he was a villain already to begin with. Why does that surprise us? If it was like Mr. House already said it's not going to be him. He's prepared for it. It's not going to be him.
Yeah,
though.
if they go back on that, I'm going to be like, oh. All right.
Yeah, and I'm just like, are they to a degree saying that maybe they use the mind control thing on Cooper? And that he was the one that pushed the bomb. And I'm like, well, then he didn't push the bomb. The person controlling him pushed the bomb. So who was the person controlling it? It's all these things where I'm like, none of it matters because we already established how evil Vault-Tec is. So it's just like, why does it matter? Because at this point, it is... It's not that big of a mystery that we care about.
Certainly not us. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The two of us not invested in that mystery, but it does seem to be the big thing of the season, so...
Maybe it's Moldiva. I don't know.
Sure.
But
I know who that is.
Sure, whoever. Whatever. I don't care.
I know that character. Sure. Well... Yeah, we'll be back next week with episode 6. If you're enjoying this, you're in luck. But, I mean, episode 6 could be the episode that turns me all around, so...
It could be.
You should listen for that alone.
Right.
Otherwise, please get in touch with us. We are at TDF Spoiled on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Lemonade. We have an email that is spoiledpodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to tdfeverything.com/spoiledrotten for all of our episodes and more ways to get in touch with us. And if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, why don't you subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice? Yeah. We are going to threaten you with a good time by doing episode 6 next week. So hopefully you tune in, and bye
Wonder
bye.
Man after that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This has been a TDF Everything production, brah.